Yeah. It's I mean, you bring up a good point because, I mean, there's a lot of people that um are is aware of this site, but there is a site called OnlyFans
Oh,
that is very
you want to get into that conversation? All right, hold on.
I'll
The
I mean,
OnlyFans.
I can just briefly touch on it if you
No,
like,
let's get into it, James.
but and to my understanding, the site originally was very similar to YouTube, but people actually had different skills and things they were basically teaching people. And so the idea is to sign up, pay this fee, so you can have access to specific people that would, can show you unique attributes or things, whatever they specifically wanted to teach you.
Yeah,
But over time, of course, it turned into something else where ladies were basically exploiting themselves for money, and they would do sexual acts or sexual things. And basically, there's a lot of guys now that are keeping the site, you know, running because, yeah, there's basically women exploiting themselves. And there are a lot of women that are making, thousands of dollars a month that are actually, they can actually afford a luxurious lifestyle, nice cars, nice house, nice penthouse, whatever. But the issue is, I think that there are a lot of these ladies that are not considering, the long term effects of this. It's like, yes, you're going to get paid for right now, but you are going to get older and things are going to change. You
yeah,
know, men are going to look for the next young thing, and at some point, it's like, what happens to these ladies? And often these people are not these ladies are not investing. They're not looking for, into property. They're just kind of living this lavish lifestyle. And they're not thinking about, wait, what happens when I do get, I don't know, 30 or 45 or whatever, and no one's really looking at me anymore. Like, what happens next? Because you can't just walk into and be a school teacher. It's like, you're online. You're all over online,
yeah.
you know?
So
Yeah.
you're
And people
saying you're fine with it as long as they're smart and they invest their earnings,
can,
right? Yeah, as long as they're able to keep it after they're done, you're fine with that. James seal of approval.
well, yeah, but it's just, I guess overall, I'm really just saying that there comes with a cost when people
Yeah,
exploit themselves. It comes with a cost, and I think
absolutely.
people don't think about the ramifications in the long term. And it's the same thing with some people that maybe when they're young, they're goofing off, they're playing around, or distributing themselves to different partners, and then you know, I don't know, they don't think, well, I could actually catch a STD, something that may be incurable, or
From
what if I
sending
get,
pictures on OnlyFans, that's wild. New
yeah,
transmissible diseases via the internet.
but there's, and then of course there's like, no one's going to respect you when you're on that site, like you're going
Yeah,
to get all this attention, but no one respects you,
I mean,
and then of course, go ahead, go ahead.
well, there's. I don't mean to cut you off, but there's definitely a community that will embrace that, right? That's kind of where a lot of the culture's leaning in certain senses. And I remember more of what that Twitter that I was talking about was saying. She got into that. She got into how it's kind of predatory. First of all, it's like a male led industry. Like
Oh yeah.
women are the main like poster people, but it's all kind of male controlled and male dominated, and it's just predatory in the sense that it takes all these young girls and teaches them, oh, this is how you provide for yourself, this is how you're an
Mhm.
entrepreneur, this is how you make money for yourself, like go off, sis, like they're hyping them up over this, and it's just a
Yeah.
culture that like everyone wants to be like even on Instagram like a fitness model or something, right? And
Oh
they're
yeah. Oh yeah.
just spreading all that stuff, and they're not really taking into account, like you said, the ramifications of it, right? And
Yeah.
owning
Yeah.
themselves versus like selling themselves out piecemeal. And yeah, it's like I said, it's just an industry that's like that shows a lavish lifestyle and teaches that you can work for yourself, but it doesn't show the downside of it, or that you're
Yeah.
giving
Oh,
yourself to
absolutely.
that.
Well, yeah. And you have to consider, like, let's say one of these ladies are very popular and she's trying to meet, family at a family function, and yeah, somebody recognizes her, like, or even on the street, or maybe at, another environment. It's like no one's thinking about that. Like, and then there's people that, they'll look at these images and these videos, and they will have some type of software to download that or to record it in some way, and
Yeah,
and they'll
it's there
sell that
forever.
stuff themselves, so it just opens you up, and
There's
really my whole, yeah, go ahead.
go ahead, you were getting into your whole thing.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, overall, I was just really getting to, yeah, ladies have to be, yeah, I mean, men as well, but ladies have to be incredibly cautious and careful with the decisions that they make, not only with the type of people that they consider, but also, um, exploiting themselves when it comes
Yeah,
to their bodies, just like you were
and
mentioning, because it comes with a cost.
you're right. And then even to the point of people downloading their videos or whatever, that's seen even with like not even content that's not trying to be provocative and not trying to make money off of the selling
So
of
true.
flesh. Like I know a bunch of friends and people I follow, all these women have these accounts and they have maybe a beach picture, right, or anything like that. And there's accounts that will like make a fake account in their name and say like, oh, post a link. God knows what it leads to, but
Yeah,
it's acting as if they were doing an OnlyFans account or something that's like something up the lines of pornography, and they're just
yeah,
that's not at
yeah.
all what they're trying to do, and they're like report this account. There's definitely people out there that will take those images, anything risque at all, right? So it sucks. It sucks that that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And what's really wild, Tim, is I've had a handful of my female friends that I've known the last 10, 15 years, attractive ladies that has happened to, and they're screenshotting it and they're putting it online. They're like, hey guys, find this profile and report it because they're using my images and they're attractive ladies. And yeah, they chose to, have bikini pictures and all that. So yeah, somebody was like, hey, I can use these pictures to build something else, and
yeah,
yeah, so yeah, it's
I'm not gonna
yeah,
lie. I've seen both sides of it. Some of the profiles for sure on their own were already posting a lot more scandalous of photos, but even with people that were more wholesome on their photos, just a pretty girl would anyone's
well,
kind of
yeah,
open
yeah,
to it. So you always have to be careful. As
oh, yeah, yeah,
as far as the OnlyFans thing, I think I just kind of laugh. I think it's funny. Not that I want to endorse pornography. It's bad. Everyone should quit. It's kind of terrible that it's ingrained to society nowadays and people grow up with it, exposed to it a lot more early. But as far as like only like you're paying and you're simping to somebody else when shit's free. Like I'm sorry, but like if you're gonna be that way, go save some money. Like just thinking
yeah,
practically. But anyway,
yeah.
that's neither here nor there. Um, the other thing I was
Mm.
wanted to say about it was as far as a girl earning that bag, right, being a self-employed whatever, right. I I might be a little torn on this. Maybe I need to grow a little bit myself. But if you're gonna go that route, because I remember thinking at one point, don't do OnlyFans, but just why don't you, or I guess people that have sugar daddies, right? Or whatever.
Mm.
I'm like, you know what? While you're young, if you can live easy, get that bag, do your thing, sure. Side hustle, develop a skill, build your own things so you can get out of that. But if you're
Mm.
enjoying it, they're taking you to fun, like whatever. Like, if you're not like, but when it's online like that, it's just entirely different, right? It's a
Yeah,
different pay model. There's a lot more people that'll see it, and then you expose yourself to just online in general. You post anything. There's some weirdos out there, man. There's some people
yeah.
that you got to be careful with posting locations and stuff, and
Oh, absolutely. Because there are
like
people that will meet you at that Starbucks if you.
absolutely,
They will meet you. Yeah.
just stay safe out there, everyone.
Seriously, yeah, yeah. It's that's so crazy. We're talking about this because there are times when I've watched YouTube and there'll be a number of female streamers that will mention whether they were in the United States or another part of the world, somebody recognized them, and was like I don't know, really a fan, and they didn't really necessarily go and talk to them, but just would stay in their vicinity. And sometimes these streamers would be streaming even from their phone, just kind of, and you could see the guy walking behind them, just staying just enough to,
Yeah,
and some guys have gotten so as much as bold enough to actually talk to them and start touching all over them,
yeah,
and so it's yeah, it's really wild, and that's one of the things I really want to emphasize is that, I personally I'm not in support of these movements that some guys, subscribe to that are like against women, and I do think there are some ladies that make the poor decision of putting themselves in jeopardy. And yeah, unfortunately, there are situations that can take place, that can, possibly harm them. But then we have ladies that, I think you kind of alluded to it earlier, that yeah, sometimes they're just a pretty girl and they're just minding their business, and maybe they are more on the wholesome side, but they'll still have stalkers. They'll still have somebody, regardless, will
Yeah.
come after them and stalk them, and and yeah, there was like this 13-year-old girl, I think, who's popular on TikTok. I heard, I forgot her name, but yeah, her father actually like ended up shooting a guy with his shotgun because the guy, went to her house 2 times in one, I think in one day, and had a gun with him. Like he wanted to somehow, I don't know if he wanted to kidnap the girl
Good for
or
the
what.
dad.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
just that's scary, man. I mean, and I don't
It's
have
very
TikTok or
scary, man.
anything, but it's super popular, and I've heard, and all my friends try to get me to get it because it's like funny videos and stuff, right? But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know a lot of that, like, or there's a lot of young people on it, and I just see different posts of just like in older people responding to it, and it just like looks weird, man. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, it is an algorithm. So, and it does. I was learning in my business class. It tracks what keeps you on the screen, not even what you like and interact with, but what keeps you on the app. So the second you open it, what you're looking at, it'll track that and show you more of that, right? Even if you're away from the phone, if you leave it on, and then you'll start seeing those types of videos the whole time. Um, so it's just, I don't know. It's kind of
It's
dangerous to
fascinating.
have
Mm.
fascinating, but I just, as far as it targeting the younger community and all, getting them to do all these different dances or whatever, I mean, I don't even know what's on there, but like you said, it's showing younger people, and then everyone has access to that, and there are creeps out there that do stuff like that.
Oh, yeah,
So,
absolutely, absolutely.
and I have a daughter now, and I got to think about these
You know what?
things.
I was going to bring that up, but I said, you know what? I'm gonna let you bring that.
It's a nightmare. Because here's the thing.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know if I talked about
man.
this yet, but I'm a big strong football player, a big man, and I have all these like ideas of how I want to raise my sons. And then I found out I was having a daughter, and I was like, oh no.
Cannot compute. Cannot compute. Like,
Yeah, what do I do?
yeah, yeah,
So we're
yeah.
gonna roll with the punches. We're just gonna make sure she
Of
knows
course.
that I love and I'm proud of her.
Absolutely,
But
absolutely.
we're gonna have to adapt to that. I joke with my wife that I want to raise a tribe of warrior men, and so but yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely a challenge in today's day and age.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I feel like just this topic alone could be a series of videos. Just this topic, man. It's so
Yeah.
much to unpack. It's